Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds, and I'm hanging out with some of my favorite nerds today. And we're going to be playing our Session 3 Open Legend RPG game. And this is Aether Skies, the beginning of the end. And when we last left off, you guys were dealing with a saboteur who tried to take out the Morning Hawk. And now you guys are trying to figure out the mystery of that. Krezzik, our kobold, has had some bad dreams. And let's start off with you guys just introduce yourselves and your characters real fast, so people following along.
All right, well, I'll jump in there since nobody else is. Hi, I'm Nerdarchy Ted. I'll be playing Bunny, the kobold Etherficer.
I'm Staff Raider Doug. I'll be playing Roz, the Dwarven Russian ex-military soldier.
I'm Staff Raider. I'm Staff Raider Megan. I'll be playing Lucilia Heliotrope, the elven mage.
And Professor Bill, Comic Book University, staff writer for Nerdarchy. Yeah, all that stuff. Playing Krezzik, the psychotic kobold with the psychotic powers.
Awesome. And also, staff writer Megan is playing an Ethermancer, which is unique to this world. It is basically, like she said, the mage of this world. The only difference is wielding too much ether magic can have horrendous effects upon the user, as we saw in the intro session. Many of them end up going insane and losing their minds. Among one of the other ways to lose your mind, is Professor Bill experimented with in the intro session, is contacting eldritch beings with your psionic powers.
Just because he's big with tentacles doesn't mean he's a Cthulhian mythos power.
True that. So you guys find yourself in Grundlehelm, which is kind of the most neutral of the 13 cities. I don't know if it's appropriate to say 13 cities anymore because the one was destroyed even though it came back, sort of. But there have been no connections or ties with it. You guys have, in the intro section, actually made one of the first forays into the city proper itself, which met with disastrous results. You know, some of your companions were wiped from existence. Others sacrificed themselves so that you may escape, and others still are still in a catatonic state from the things that they experienced in that place. What do you guys want to do? When we had left off, you guys were discussing about, one, you wanted to figure out who the saboteur was. We were trying to figure out if they were working with anybody else in the city. The travel between cities is fairly infrequent, other than some trading that goes on. Most of the cities are mostly self-contained, but still some trading does go on. And then the most porous of structures is the Etherball League. Sports teams will travel back and forth, and it's also where a lot of diplomacy happens at these games as well. So I know you guys had said you wanted to check into whether or not there were any Etherball teams that are coming and going. Was one of the things you had stated. You wanted to figure out about the manufacture of the boots you guys had found, which they were a highly specialized form of boot. It follows kind of the model of the ether boots, which are something Etherball players use to kind of like skate around through the air, except for these are modified. They're smaller, they can be concealed, and they're more like skis, and they're used, you know, in the same fashion as a parachute might be used, and it is kind of like a life preserver, a last resort for a soldier that might find themselves aboard another ship.
So has there been any kind of time lapse since we ended last session, or are we literally picking up, you know, right at that moment?
We're going to pick up where we left off.
All right. So unless like someone specifically asks Bunny, like, all right, you know, do you want to do this, or can you help with such and such? I'm overseeing and you know, trying to work on the ship.
Okay. Now I will say, Ty is not here today. He couldn't make this session, and therefore Israel is not here as well. He's actually been called away, and there's a specific task he was needed to do. You guys had briefly seen Olaf Firestein III, which is a military officer from Ty's home city, and he has called for Ty even further. You guys may or may not, probably, I don't think Izzy would have told you what transpired between the two of them. But, you know, ever since that, you know, he hasn't been quite the same since that meeting. So he's been called off.
I think we might want to travel to the docks to see if there are any Etherball teams waiting to disembark. If so, they might have been waiting for our saboteur to arrive.
So the city of Grundelhelm is broken up into 3 districts. There's a lower, middle, and high district. So you guys you've been operating out of this building on the middle district, and that's kind of where like the Etherball stadiums are, the common folk live, and most businesses are located. The upper district is really for the aristocrats, the nobility, and then the lower district, so the middle district is where the ports are as well. The lower district is also another place where you've been, and that is actually where a lot of the foundries and manufacturing takes place, as well as basically the underbelly of the city. Not in the seedy criminal way, but in the things that keep the city operating kind of way. Also, you're a little bit familiar with that area as well, because that is where the Morning Hawk is moored, and generally, you know, there are no ports there, but the Illuminati organization you guys belong to, they do have a secret port there that they use, which only made the infiltration of it even more odd and suspicious. So if you're looking to go to the port, you would be heading to the middle ward. I mean the middle district.
Okay. Do you guys think this is a good idea?
I think it's a good idea. I'll go with you.
Yeah, why not? We did also want to see if anybody was leaving the city, because most people don't, and that would be a suspicious individual, person of interest.
This is my thinking as well. If someone was waiting for our saboteur before disembarking, they may be obviously, you know, waiting to disembark.
So logically speaking, which something, you know, Bunny might point out, you know, would be, you know, I don't know how much we investigated last time, whether there was anyone that looked out of place besides the dude that we killed, or the dude that killed himself. You know, whether there was anything related to that we didn't actually go through, because I think we kind of ended pretty quickly thereafter.
I think we were thinking, since he had those shoes that were kind of modified Etherball, he might have come and gone with a team.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. Maybe if there's like a ship at the port that might be like waiting, they might have been waiting for him to get back. Since if all this just went down, they might be, you know, kind of dilly-dallying there before leaving to see if that guy would return.
I also believe Krizik had brought up the idea of looking for who manufactures the boots.
I did, but no one seemed interested at all, and you actually laughed about it, like Ted just did.
We could do this as well.
All right, so you guys head down across to the port ward on the middle district where you guys are hanging out. You know, city life is, you know, a hustle and a bustle, and you guys make your way through. It takes a little while to get there. Once you get to the port, there are several airships that are docked. Most of them are set up kind of like barges and are meant for distributing goods. There is one ship that looks kind of like a junk scale. What is that word? I want to say scallion, but I don't think that's the word.
Galleon?
No, it's not a galleon.
A scow?
Scow, yeah. So it is probably one of the worst ships you've seen. But then, you know, painted all on the side in basically like a graffiti style, in bold colors, big letters, the single word, beasts. And which you're not surprised, because they are playing later this week, and they've been on a tear. They're doing well, but they come from a poor city, and they're probably lucky to even have a ship for transport. But judging by how well they're doing this season, next year they might be able to get it. Next season they may be able to upgrade that ship.
Perhaps upgraded with the technology from the Morning Hawk?
That seems a tad paranoid, but I guess any lead is worth pursuing.
Well, I don't remember any of us actually asking why someone would have been trying to sabotage our ship and all that.
I think the answer to that seems fairly obvious.
I do not think they were trying to sabotage more than steal our technology.
Well, there were a couple different things that I thought we had actually talked about when we were in the meeting with the Commodore, and we brought up, or at least I remember, that there was the fact that the ship that we're on, the Morning Hawk, is kind of more of a prototype, so the actual technology itself might be above and beyond and worth taking. And then there are those organizations that don't really want the cities to be united and working together like we currently are. So both things could be, a possible lead, or maybe it's the combination of the two that really kicks someone's butt into action.
That's right. Sorry. All right. So why would a Aether Ball team want to kill us then? Steal our stuff?
We just think that the person hitched a ride with the team.
Okay.
Because they have the most free passage between the cities, so there's a pretty good chance that was the way that they managed to get in.
If we observe for a little bit, can we see anybody maybe coming and going from the ship that might have boots similar to the ones the spy was wearing?
You can watch, but you don't. But just at a simple observation, you don't think you're going to see anybody wearing those boots, because they are distinctly military in make.
Yeah, that I do remember. Sorry, guys. Just again, I'm a little sick, still recovering, so yeah, memory lapse. But yeah, I do remember that those were military boots, majorly altered, modified.
Is there on any of the ships here someone who, because if the guy was coming right back, he would be very late by now. So is there anyone that's sitting on a ship looking out and clearly looking agitated? That's probably something for our elven friend to notice, because I know my perception sucks.
What are your perception stats?
1.
I got 2.
Okay, so so no one's super perceptive of the group. It looks like the normal comings and goings, like there's some loading and unloading of cargo going on. There's the normal workers on the dock, sweating and huffing and puffing as they move things about, using like older style cranes.
What's the activity on the Beast ship look like right now?
It looks fairly quiet. It doesn't really look like anything's going on over there. If you're waiting around for a while, you'll eventually see someone come out of one of the cabins and come above deck. But for the most part, and it definitely does not look like one of the actual Etherball players. They're probably housed in the city someplace. It looks like one of the crewmen.
Are there any? Is there anyone either in port or on a ship that looks like they're doing like the same task over and over again, to look like I'm being busy, but I'm not really accomplishing anything?
Yeah, you definitely find at least one of those guys.
I'd like to just grab the boots and walk up and down the deck and say, does anybody recognize these? Anybody lose a pair of boots? Looking for the owner of these boots. Anyone?
So people start looking and perking up, and there's actually like 3 people that step forward. They're like, they're mine. And one of them you can clearly see they would not fit. They're really nice boots.
I say, well, the owner of these boots would be barefoot, since we know where we're looking for the origin of them. What can you tell me about these?
Do you have the fins popped?
Sure.
Okay. Oh wow, they're nice. And, as you start to like kind of show them off, and the three that kind of stepped up to try and claim them, more people start to gather around, and like,
okay. Is anybody that's gathering around look kind of nervous or overly interested, like more than just people that are going to probably want to take them from me because they're cool looking boots?
So you definitely are getting a couple people. Some people are just kind of like, all right, you're breaking up the humdrum of their day. So something interesting is going on. You can definitely pick out those people. Then there are those that actually seem interested in the object that you've got. And but the 3 that step forward, let's see.
I guess I'm more looking for like people that might be on the periphery, kind of like nervously interested. Because,
right.
You know.
So here's the thing. You're military, and Krezik is military. You don't really think a professional is going to get spooked real easily or duped that way. I don't think.
Yeah, I figured it might be just worth a shot to flush that.
Even if they're watching and kind of checking out what's going on, they're probably, if anything, you'd look for like the calmest or coolest person. Right,
exactly. Or somebody that might want to distance themselves, like, ooh, I don't want to, make myself known.
Dave, what I'd like to do is just the people closest to the people furthest back do a mind dredge and see if I can't read a couple of surface thoughts.
Okay. You can try that. How many minds are you going to try and do at a time?
1 at a time.
Okay. One at a time.
Do all of them at once.
So how does your flaw work?
That big Cthulhu thing in the back too. Him at the same time.
How does your flaw work with your psionically moving your body around? That's a separate power, right? That's your movement power.
Yes.
Okay. So give me a pre-science check.
We'll keep the mic on. Prescience. All right, that's 4. So that's a 1d10. I should probably have my dice out for this.
Probably.
Also, while I'm getting my dice, I was wondering, this guy jumped like haphazardly overboard, and he was planning on landing someplace. Where could he have possibly landed that no one would have said, "Oh, hey, look"?
That's a good question.
Something like that.
Basically, he was jumping over open air, so
maybe a schooner was going to come by and pick him up. So what do I do? Just a D10 or a D10 and something else?
D10 and a D20.
Sexy. 15.
Okay, so 15. You're able to easily scan the minds of the crowd one by one. It takes a little while. Doug is going to have to keep them talking in order for that to be effective for a bit. And the general, what you're getting more than anything is they're just like, oh, this is breaking up my day. Then there's a couple people that you come across and go, oh, they're valuable. And this is again a poorer part of the city. And towards the end of your sweep, there is actually one person that seems to be blending in, and actually visually you miss them at first. You don't even notice them. That's that they have a guarded mind in the sense that you're hitting kind of a bit of a barrier when you try to probe them. So with that person, give me another check against their. You're going to have to attack their resolve.
A 7. I lost my thunder by having my mic off the first time, but yeah.
Yeah. So you subtly try to work your way through their barriers, but you just can't.
Okay, not a problem. But tag, you're it.
Yeah, that person is definitely above and beyond whatever's going on here. So back to Raz, and so first of all, what do you say to the one guy that steps up that looks like he probably couldn't even put his hands in those boots?
I'll look him up and down, and you say he's just like a common man.
Yeah,
Just a back worker sort of thing.
yeah. You can clearly see this guy was hired to move heavy things.
I say I'm pretty sure the owner of these boots is going to be a military, but if you do you know, have you seen something like this before? You're saying they're yours. I'll look him down his feet. You said they clearly can't fit. I say I do not think these are yours, but if you have seen something like this before, I would definitely appreciate pointing me in the right direction.
Yep, they're definitely mine. I dropped them.
Oh yeah, where did you drop them?
Over. And he kind of just like.
I say, yeah. Go on about your day, buddy.
And he's kind of like, oh, and then he shrugs his shoulders and kind of stomps off. And then when one of the other guys kind of takes a second look at the boots and he's like, my bad, I'm mistaken. I don't think they're mine at all after all.
This is a different guy?
Yeah, that was one of the other guys. And then the third guy looks at him, just looks at him and goes, it was worth a try. They look like they'd fetch some coin down at the market.
Indeed.
I never seen nothing like them though. Look at them. They look like them fancy Etherball shoes.
They do. This is what I was thinking as well.
So have you tried one of the Etherball players?
Not yet, but that's not a bad idea. Thanks.
Are they new? I don't think I've seen them like that before. They're usually much bigger. They're usually twice as big. And he kind of like does this with his hands like around one of the boots that you're dangling up in front of everybody to indicate how big the wings should be.
Well, thank you for the information, friend.
Yeah, he definitely just stated the obvious, and then the rest of the crowd continues watching for a few more minutes, and then one of the dock bosses comes out and starts yelling, and they start dispersing into different directions.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, I'll rejoin my friends and ask them if they saw anybody look suspicious in the crowd that had gathered.
Well, Krezik said
Read the inside chat.
Yeah. So since he let us know what he found in the person's brain by brain communication, I'm going to pretend like I'm reading and walking at the same time and just subtly follow this person away from the crowd.
Okay. I see you guys picked up on my brilliant plan masterfully. Well done. So yeah, let's follow that guy. I mean, unless you guys want to do something else.
So just as a point of order, you guys did grab me from the ship, right?
Yeah, I guess I just kind of assumed that.
Well, I communicated with you too.
Well, we kind of took up from where you guys left off. So you guys hadn't dispersed yet. So
okay. Oh, okay.
Your technical expertise will be most welcome, buddy.
So with that, you begin following this guy. So how are you guys going to go about following him? And because right now there's a group of you.
Well, I am standing away from my friends and I'm pretending to wander aimlessly while I'm reading, but like out of my peripheral vision, like following this person, maybe occasionally like walking around things, like putting them between me and this guy. And if he ducks into alleyways or something, those are shadowy places and I'll have an easier time hiding there. But for the time being, I'm just trying to blend. Probably, yeah.
So I move pretty quick despite my my small size. So I'm actually going to stay a little bit back from Megan's character. And I don't have my notes here with your name on it. My apologies. So
Dr.
I'll
Lucy.
Dr. Lucy. There we go. So I'll stay back from Lucy and be able to kind of get into the fray or mix or whatever need be at a moment's notice. And I'm used to kobolds not really drawing much attention, so.
And I guess I would probably follow her as well, but not maybe like adjacent with some space, just in case that guy happens to look behind. Since I was making that display, he wouldn't put two and two together. Like, oh, this guy and this dwarf woman and this elf woman are both following me. So I'm kind of like following Dr. Lucy, but like adjacent to her.
Excellent. Krezik.
Yeah, similar. Military training, really small. I got like the best of what everybody said, I think.
Okay, and you could even, if you want to detach yourself a little bit further and kind of just stay in mental contact with someone to get an idea of how needed you are. All right, with that being said, Dr. Lucy needs to give me a deception check.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I don't have deception, but you did say that I could use Aether to boost my skills to 3. So let's go over how that works again so I make sure I'm doing it right.
You're going to make the check as if you have a stat of 3
Okay.
in it. And so that check will determine how well you perform whatever action you're trying to perform. Telephone, but at the same time, it'll also be an attack upon your sanity.
Okay. This could go very badly, but it could also go very well. It's going to go badly if it goes very well. This is fun. 11.
I can't hear Dave.
Hear
Can
you.
you?
I probably muted myself.
There you go.
Every once in a while, I'll hit the button on the headphones. So an 11. What is your resolve score?
14.
Okay, so the 11 is not enough to actually penetrate your resolve score, so you will take no sanity damage from wielding Aether. On the plus side, and on the minus side, an 11 is not a very high score, so your deception score is not particularly great. But he doesn't seem to notice you, as far as you can tell. You're following him, and he does. He goes by several different alleys, and he seems to be like kind of like inspecting them, nonchalantly looking into them as if he's looking for something. And it's when he gets to probably like the 5th or 6th one that he takes a quick look around, doesn't seem to see that anything is going on, and ducks into that alley.
I'm going to follow him into that alley. I have a hilarious backup plan if he catches me.
Would you like us to follow you as well, Dr. Lucy?
That's entirely up to you.
What are the chances of me making my way up to the roof, especially since I can lift 100 pounds of me with no problem?
Yeah, you could do that.
I'm more concerned with being seen than anything else, or at least making it look good.
Yeah, or it probably you can probably just slide up the side of the building. Although you're probably going to want to duck into maybe one of the opposite alleys.
If I'm seeing that, I will actually do the same, but as opposed to using my mind, I will just literally climb up the side of the building.
I guess I'd like to stay at the mouth of the alley and just keep an eye on Dr. Lucy from like around, from around the corner, just in case she gets in trouble.
Okay. So I need Professor Bill to give me a perception check.
$13.
Okay. So you begin to harness your psychic abilities in order to make yourself light as air and drift up the building out of sight. When you become aware that you're actually not alone in this alley, while you guys have been stalking your quarry, someone has been stalking you, and there is 3 figures wearing kind of plain brown robes, and they each draw a dagger from underneath of the robes, and the blades of these daggers kind of glow with an eerie yellow light as they have 2 rows of markings that go up the blade vertically. So you can roll initiative, which is your agility.
All of us are just Krezek.
Just Krezek right now. He's in the other alley opposite of you, parallel to you.
You mean the roof, right?
No, it was before you actually. It was just as you started going up. So right now you're making yourself light.
Okay.
So I was mimicking him.
17.
So am I there, or am I further back, Dave?
You know what? I guess if you're mimicking him, you would probably be in the same alleyway. Were you being stealthy about it?
No.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
$13.
Okay. It doesn't really change anything. You see exactly what I described, but these guys definitely are surrounding Krezek.
So I got a 17 on my initiative.
Okay. So you can act first.
I have a 20.
After Bunny.
All right. So what kind of area are these guys in?
It's in an alleyway, so there's only the alleyway itself is only about 10 feet wide.
Okay, so I'll flick the switch on my ray, and I'll go after all 3 of them.
Okay, so that's disadvantage 3 or 2. Disadvantage 2.
My thing is an area attack, so I don't know how that works.
Your thing's an area attack. Everything can be an area attack.
Oh, okay. So
unless you actually have a feat that gives you that.
I have area manipulation.
Okay. So what rank?
1.
Okay, so you can get 2 of them, and then to add the 3rd, it would be disadvantage 1.
Okay. All right. So then I'll go for 2. Then that's just an agility roll.
Yes.
Okay, so that is 24 versus their guard.
Okay. And that is... All right, so that beats their guard by 8. So
not enough for an extra.
Yeah, not enough for an extra bane, and they will take 8 points of damage. All right, so you're up, Krezek.
So what?
Actually, before you go, Ted, you want to describe what you actually did?
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So I was, getting ready to literally, scale the wall to do what Krezek was going to do, and I've got a cobbled together ray gun or gun that's attached to a wire to my backpack, and I got a little tube of ether that fills it, and I flick a switch to go from individual target to cover an area, and it just spouts fire almost like a flamethrower, hitting the 2 guys and burning their cloaks and what have you.
So it is actual fire damage?
I guess is what I have written down.
Okay, well then so it is. So things heat up a little bit, and what action are you taking, Krezek? You could still do as you intended and just float away.
Nah, that would be a dick move. So these guys are still up and they're still active. So
yes.
I'm gonna. You said I can turn a single attack into an area attack.
You can, but for every additional target, if you don't have a special feature that lets you do that, it's a disadvantage per additional target.
What does that mean?
So you would you roll your die 20 plus your ability stats.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had disadvantage 1, you would roll 1 extra ability stat die, and you would have to get rid of the highest.
Get rid of the high. Oh, so if I had an ability of 4 and something, I would have an ability of 2 in it.
No, well, so okay, so say you have an ability of 4,
Yes.
which is a D10, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna roll a D20 and a D10, and you have disadvantage 1. Well, then you would roll the D20 and 2 D10, and you would take the lesser of the 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not such a bad thing. So if I want to affect all 3 of these guys, then what?
It'd be disadvantage 2.
So I would roll. Oof. Let's give it a shot. 10, 6, and let me re-roll this again. Okay, so 10, 20, 21. 21 is my my lowest then, because I rolled a 10, a 7, and a 6, and my 20 was a 15.
Okay.
So yeah.
So so a 21 with that is you're going to hit. So what did you actually do?
I'm going to use my immobilize. So I actually have all of them essentially in a force choke. All of them
Okay.
lifted up about a foot off of the ground, and they cannot speak, and their voice boxes are actually being choked. So they
Okay,
can't even
nice.
scream out.
So so they're all, their toes are dangling, heads back, they're clutching their daggers.
And they're on fire.
and 2 of them are smoldering. Okay, so there's no damage because you just used the effect, right? Excellent. So it's their turn. As a minor action, they get to try and shake it off. And actually 2 of them are able to actually break free. The one is held fast, but the other 2, they're able to actually will their way through it and kind of muscle past the power of your immobilize. And you can only imagine it's because you've spread your power thin through the 3 of them. And so with that, the one turns to the other. He's like, remember, we need him alive. And so they turn and they charge Bunny. With these daggers. What is your guard, Bunny?
16.
Okay. So they're both going to hit as they come slicing in at you. And apparently when they said we need him alive, they were not talking about you. And so you will take 10 points of damage from the 1.
Ow.
And that wound feels exceptionally brutal and vicious to you. And it
Lethal?
burns. Lethal, well, yes, but it also burns in a way that you've never experienced before. And the other one is just kind of a cut, and it does 4 points of damage. But when that one cut you, as the blade sliced out of you, the runes, the 2 sets of runes that run vertically down the blade flare this eerie light color. And with that, it is back to you, Ted.
Yep, up the wall I go. I'm on the roof.
Okay, so you'll draw an attack of opportunity from the 2 near you.
I can't just disengage?
No.
Don't I get to go before they go?
Yes, you do get to, but if he just flees, it'll be an attack of opportunity. Actually, I'm not.
So
minor action to say trust me?
Talking is a free speech, free action.
Just back way, Bunny. Hop away.
So how messed up are they looking? Do they seem like they're right as rain? I mean, the two guys got burned a little bit.
Yeah, the two guys that got burned.
Are they the ones that attacked me?
One of them is, and he looks. They look a little beat up.
All right. Well, then if I'm gonna get I'm gonna get attacked if I move, and I'm gonna attack if I don't, which is gonna drop me no matter what happens. So the dude with the really what do you call it, with the more powerful dagger, the one that hurt more. If I focus on him, it doesn't do any extra damage, right? Versus attacking both of them.
Correct, unless you have something that gives you that feature.
No, so I will just blast both of them.
Okay.
So that is 25 versus their guard.
Okay, so they will each take 9 points, close to inflicting a bane, but not quite there. And with that, the one you catch him square in the face with it, and he drops to the ground screaming. And the other one is just kind of grimace and grunts in pain as he breathes in fire. And the third one is just still chilling out, hanging in there.
I'm can I, getting attacked, am I allowed to scream in pain? Is that gonna possibly call some of our companions to come to our aid?
Yeah.
Or can we hear them screaming? The cultists that get shot in the face.
Well, actually, the cultists are eerily quiet, but make a perception check to see if you hear what's going on above the hustle and bustle of the city, because they're literally down the block.
4.
I get 15.
A 15. You feel like you hear something just at the peripheral of your hearing that doesn't sound quite right, coming from the direction where Krizik and Bunny went.
And Dr. Lucy looks. Oh, now I'm kind of torn, but I take out my baseball bat, slap at my fist, and I'll go take a look just in case, just on a hunch.
Okay, so and Dr. Lucy, are you still kind of creeping down the alley?
Oh no, I'm not creeping at all. I'm going to step out right where he can see me.
Okay, so you do that, and just as he gets kind of past the mouth of the alley, he kind of turns and he draws one of those daggers I described as well, and he's holding it up, and two rows of runes you can clearly see with glowing in that eerie light.
I say, a young woman and a mysterious stranger meet in a dark alley. How unfortunate for you. And attempts to invoke the immobilization bane.
Okay.
So, that's 17.
Okay, 17 versus Rezav?
Let me check if that's resolve or toughness. It's one of them. It's toughness because it's entropy.
Okay, so that totally grabs him. He's immobile.
So I extend my fingers and tendrils of darkness rise up out of the ground and restrain this man.
And he quietly curses under his breath, "Witch!" See, my villains have range.
Gonna stand there smirking at him and wait for the others.
All right. So shooting back to the other alleyway. So Bunny, now you had taken your attack. Now, if you wanted to move away, you would only draw one attack of opportunity.
Yeah, if I take an attack of opportunity, I'm down. So I don't really see the point in that.
Well, only if you get hit. Okay, you're up, Krizik.
I still have that one guy up. Am I able to? I'm not able to hold him up like persistent and then turn around and attack one of the other guys.
You can sustain it by using your minor action.
Okay, good. Then I'll do that. And then the guy that had the rune blade, I'd like to take that from him, please, with my disarm ability.
Oh, they all had that blade. They all have one.
Oh. Well, I'd like to take, what do you call it? One of them. Anyway, yeah, I'll just take from, okay, fine. I'll take from the two that are close to Bunny.
Okay. So you can either try and go grab the one from the one guy's down, the one guy's immobilized, and there's one guy that's armed.
Yeah, that one.
So
Oh, there's only the one arm. Then I don't need to take a disadvantage. I'm just going after that one guy then.
yeah.
Yeah, just my disarm ability, and he should be within 15 feet of me easy if we're in an alley.
Yes.
I'll make it fall right at my feet and then pick it up. 14?
14, is that versus guard?
Shoot. Yes, my agility versus his guard.
Okay, so yes, you're not able to wrest it from his grasp.
Fucker.
So with that, the last one turns, tries to place a hand on Bunny's shoulder, and stabs forward with his knife. 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take 6 points of damage.
I'm down.
And you're down, and you also are taking that persistent. You also have that persistent wound as well going on.
I don't know what that's gonna do if I'm already down. So
Yes, we'll resolve that very shortly. So, Raz, you come running down the alleyway just in time. You're at the mouth of the alleyway to see this robed figure place a hand on Bunny's shoulder, and then you see his arm lance up as he stabs him under the ribs with a dagger. And you're muted.
Sorry. So there's the guy that did that to Bunny, the one that Bunny dropped, and then an immobilized guy that Kresik's holding.
Yeah, so you see one guy kind of dangling in the air with his toes just barely touching the ground, style, and the rest of them is slack. You see one guy on the ground smoldering, and you see the third guy that he just knifed Bunny.
Then I will swing my bat around and go up and just clock that guy in the back of the noggin, if I can. So that'd be, let's see, my might versus his, guard?
Yep.
Ooh, I got an explosion, so it's 24... 28.
Oh, 28. That is, you can invoke a Bane if you like.
All right, let's see. How about demoralized?
Oh, he's definitely demoralized as you catch him under the jaw with your baseball bat, and he goes flying and lands at Kresik's feet. The bloody dagger hits the ground and goes skirting around.
All right. And I think that's all I can do right now.
As you hear metal on the metal on concrete.
Yeah. And I would check on Bunny. I don't think I can take any other actions, but I'll definitely kneel down to check on him.
Okay. So Kresik, what are you doing? Pretty much these three guys are done for. The one you're kind of just like holding there, but in the meantime, Buddy is on the ground and grievously wounded.
I'm gonna call out to our heal bot. That was a joke. Okay, anyway, to Dr. Lucy and say, yeah, we could really use your help. Are you available?
If I can hear him, then I'll go help. But you guys do realize my doctorate is in theoretical arcana.
Not that kind of doctor.
Not that kind of doctor.
And since Krizik is just a kobold, I'm going to say, she around? You no understand. She's speaking binary, like R2-D2.
Your prescience, prescience. That's like rank 1.
My prescience. Are you saying me?
Yeah.
My prescience is 4.
Oh, 4. Oh, yeah. You got some reach on that. So, yeah. So you definitely get that message through. But in the meantime, you've got this guy in front of you, dangling in the air.
Oh, this guy's being interrogated.
Well,
in fact, I'm going to go right into his mind. That's the thing. I'm not going to hurt him, though. Like, it's a reason why I have all non-lethal stuff.
Actually, what I mean is both of you have someone dangling.
Oh, gotcha.
Can't you guys just tie them up and, haul them in for questioning?
The restraint
I'm sorry, can we hear you?
persists. We can move freely, but the restraints persist until they break them.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you guys doing right now, though? Because right now, Bunny's on the ground bleeding.
Is it lethal damage that he took?
Say again, Doug?
Was it lethal damage that Bunny took?
Oh, well, it was a stab. It was a knife.
At the very least, either of us with military skills, basic training would have all sorts of. We're not going to. Maybe you won't know how to suture a wound, but you'll know how to at least stop bleeding.
Right.
Apply a tourniquet at last resort.
Okay, so you guys go to do that immediately, and 2 of the wounds, you guys have been in some campaigns, some stuff. You take care of them without a problem. The one wound is really bad, and you need something. You're going to need someone with more training than you guys have, because you've combined. You're trying everything you know, and for whatever reason, that wound is still bleeding.
Okay. I'm coming over there. Because my guess is that this is some kind of magical wound, and restoration might be able to help that. It cancels banes.
As I say, I have the heal boon, but it wouldn't heal lethal damage, so I don't think that would help.
Yeah, so when Dr. Lucy gets there and you're able to examine it, and you've already seen the blades. There's something cult or mystic about those blades. The glowing runes kind of give it away. So you that wound that won't close, you suspect without probing with any of your aethermancy skills that that's the problem. That's the case.
I cast restoration at power level 4. It cancels banes of power level 4 or lower.
Oh yeah, it instantly stops bleeding.
Yay!
And then dispense with the healing.
Yeah, and then I'll heal him by saying, this doesn't look so bad, buddy. And that would be 6 points of healing.
Okay,
I do not think it is as bad as you thought it was. Suck it up.
So you do that, and you guys, he recovers, but right where that one wound was, there's a sickly yellow scar, and it's almost like there's on either side of the scar there's these brands going up and down at 5, 2 rows of 5.
So it looks like I've been branded now as well.
It's a scar, and yes, it looks like some kind of odd brand.
It's like the eyes of that creature.
Bunny's gonna lay there and cry.
Oh, I'm gonna hug him and like take care of him. I feel bad.
So
just a little kobold.
You should be proud of every scar you get, Bunny.
A little bit of in-character knowledge. I'm going to take specific note that Dr. Lucy took pity, literally, on a kobold. Not used to seeing that.
Do those that mark that it left? Does it look eerily like the glowing yellow eyes that Izzy and I last saw as we were flying away from the creature in the ship?
It does. And matter of fact, the markings on the blades look the same as well.
Mm.
So when I eventually come to, I'm gonna want to examine those daggers to some degree or another, but that's gonna be a little while. I'm a heaping pile of useless right now.
I don't want anything to do with these daggers.
We should definitely pick them up anyway for further observation.
I remind everyone of my dream, the
them.
not so dream. These guys were specifically coming after me. These turkeys specifically come at Prizik.
Well, the more of them we pick up, the more of them they won't have anymore. So,
Me think they fairly easy make for Maker. In the meantime, Dave, this guy that I've got up by the chokers, what's his general mood towards me right now? All of us, yes, but me specifically right now.
He seems eerily calm.
Can I make him eerily calmer with a minor charm?
You could try that. Go against his resolve.
That would be my influence. Attack attributes influence. Oh, yeah, okay, versus resolve. Damn, Dave's got this down to a freaking science. You're a little bit scary right now, just so that we're both clear.
I've got cheat sheets all over.
Dude, like tattooed inside your eyelids. Every time he blinks, he knows. 15.
Okay, you're evil. He seems to calm even further.
Cool. Talk to Krizik, Turkey. What your ultimate intent here with Krizik and friends?
I care nothing about your friends. We come for you, Krizik.
Well, him not called me maggot, so this is good. This is sign upwards, I say to everybody.
We had a dream. We had a vision. We were to bring you to our secret place.
Where is secret place? Oh God, me's so afraid to ask. Say it not in your pants. Say it not in your pants.
Oh, wait a minute. It's charmed. Not in my pants. Not in my pants. No. No. We have a secret meeting place we keep in the lower district. It is an old abandoned church of the old ways. Is where we meet. We were to capture you and bring you for our next rite.
Does boss or anyone know right now what's happening to you?
He looks a little confused for a moment. Which boss? The master. The master knows much. But as for the hierarchy and us who follow the master, we were all just men.
Okay, I'm going to stay in character. Okay. 3 of you here. More someplace watching now?
No, there was only 4 of us in our team.
What about God? God Aether thing. Him looking right now? See us now?
He seems all powerful. Or no, let me correct that. He is all powerful. He is one of the old gods. Or at least one of the servants of the old gods.
If him so powerful, not need me for coming here. Maybe you faith misguided, Turkey.
Oh. So with that, he looks at you in all seriousness and says, you should follow them. They're going to break free. It is only a matter of time. There was a war in the ages past. The old gods versus the new gods. The old gods or the new gods that were of this place, they were destroyed and wiped out. In their last act, they helped their followers enact the barriers and the seals. But now they are breaking down, and without the new gods to renew them, the old gods will come through, and they will take this place. There will be winners and there will be losers. It doesn't matter if you defeat us in this world; they will raise us up in the next.
Open your mind to me, Turkey. And then I just want to see exactly where this church is. I want to see any symbols that I would recognize, anything like that.
Okay, so you do that fairly easily, and
Out loud, Megan.
I'm trying to think if Izzy has any visible trappings of his religion, but you definitely recognize it, and it is still a religion, but it is very much on the wane, and even if you didn't see anything with Israel, I don't know if he keeps that hidden or not, but Olaf Firestein, when he came by you guys and you saw him in the headquarters, he prominently displays the trappings of that religion.
Last question I really have for him. Head Turkey god name. What him name?
We are not worthy to speak his name or even to hear it. I believe the power in those words alone would drive us mad.
So Grand Poobah Turkey. Sound good. He's all yours.
I'm going to pick up one of those daggers and head back to the alley where I left the other guy.
Okay.
And then I'm going to send him back to his god.
Okay. So instantly when you grab the dagger, you can feel the wrongness to it. It almost feels like wielding Aether, except for like the most unpure, dirtiest Aether you've ever touched.
Okay, so, probably only going to use it the one time. I'm definitely not keeping this as permanent equipment, but it feels like appropriate to take this guy out with his own weapon.
Okay, so you do that. No rolls necessary. He's helpless. You can just however you want to do it. You just gut him like a fish, drive it through his temple, whatever. Okay, so with that, his life force pours out, and as you do it, those runes, just as you complete the slice, flare out again, brilliantly in that eerie yellow color. And for that instant, you feel power course and surge through your veins, like wielding Aether. And,
I like that.
And with that, like, you hear a whisper in your mind, "Well done."
I'm just gonna put this away now. Like, wrap it in some cloth and put it away so I'm not touching it anymore.
And as you do that, like, you hear like quiet laughter, and it just slowly fades away.
I should probably tell the rest of the party that happened.
Part of you feels like it would be a bad idea to tell them.
Yeah, but part of me feels like if I don't tell them and they find out some other way, I'm gonna be in big trouble.
What is your resolve score? 14?
14.
So there, you definitely sense another presence trying to dissuade you from telling them, but you've easily stuffed that aside.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to tell the party what just happened, because I'm pretty sure that whatever it is that did that is the thing that's trying to get at Krizik, and he needs to know.
Okay. So you go take care of business, head back to the rest of the group. And also, like, and just so you guys are clear, you guys do not operate in any official capacity.
So we just murdered like 4 people in an alley, basically, is what you're saying?
Self-defense.
however you want to term it. But that being said, you might want to
Dispose of the bodies.
or at least not be there when they're found.
Hey, we could always dump them over the side. That's a popular thing to do in these cities.
Yeah, it is. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to get them to the over the side.
Is there just like debris and stuff in the alleys?
A little, probably not enough to hide 44 bodies.
Here, for the sake of conversation, I'm going to walk over, and as I'm lowering the guy that Dr. Lucy just killed, and after she tells us what she says, I walk by her and whisper only for her to hear, when we kill, we leave a little bit of ourselves. Trust Krizik. Him leave a lot of himself on battlefield. And then I bring him down, and even somebody might see me cry a little bit that someone just died, and I do try to actually give him as proper a burial as I can, using just my hands.
I'm going to file away the information that he doesn't like people dying and try not to do that again out of respect for Krizik.
Okay. So basically it's been probably only a couple minutes since you've actually entered the alleyway. And you guys know it'd probably be best if you moved along.
I suppose if there's nowhere to really hide these bodies, then we should just maybe go back to our ship. Do you think?
We do know that they're expecting me at that church. I don't have any way of disguising us. I wish I had that ability.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know where the church is, right?
I believe I know exactly where the church is.
Yeah. So a couple of things. You guys, after you guys move away and out of the alley, probably to figure things out, you probably do your best to kind of be inconspicuous, and chances are, it could be 10 minutes, it could be hours before the bodies are actually found. So a couple of things stand out. One is the weird daggers, obviously. Two was the one guy was dressed normally, so he was on the docks for a purpose or another, and somehow you feel like he was able to contact these other three. And the thing that stands out the most about those three is the fact that they were wearing almost like cloister monk robes, stereotypical cultist style, which seems a bit odd. It's definitely not normal. It's not normal attire in the city. It's not exactly costume worthy, but it's not normal either.
Well, the main alleyway that Dr. Lucy was chasing that one dude in, we should probably check that one too. Like, obviously this was an ambush, but I wonder if there may be more here than we thought. Secret passageway, anything like that.
I'm wondering was it just coincidental luck on their part that guy was, spotted Krizik at the port?
No, he either caught on to me trying to mind probe him or Megan.
He was the one that you did try, that you encountered resistance for. And when just to backtrack a little bit, when Megan was following him directly, he actually kind of stopped and looked around at several alleys before going down the one that he chose.
Right. I'm just thinking if their goal, if part of their agenda was nabbing Krizik, did they know he was going to be at the port, or was it just like, oh, hey, there's he was just down at the port and just happened to be there when Krizik was, and you know what I mean?
Plus, I'm also curious how many other Kriziks there are, how many other psychically attuned people there are that they could try to get also. Like, do they need a circle of us, or is just one of us enough? So maybe we should just try and scout out this church then?
That's not a bad idea.
Am I strong enough to carry Bunny back to the HQ?
If you're not, I'm pretty sure I am.
I am.
So there's definitely plenty. I assume someone was carrying Bunny.
Okay. I just
Yeah,
want to make
let's
sure
get
we
him
don't
back.
leave him in the alley.
Well, out of game question, is he going to be like right back, or is it going to be a while?
He told me 6 minutes.
Oh, so
I told him I was skeptical.
We'll just take Bunny with us then.
yeah, right. Okay.
So is that what you guys want to do? You want to head to the church? You want to
Yeah,
Get-
stealthily.
get Bunny stitched up better?
I think he can make it, right?
Uh,
Or maybe we should go back
I-
and get him bandaged
I
up and
need
then
a
go check out
minute.
the church.
I need a minute, so I'm going to find a quiet spot, these two can go ahead, and I will meet up with them when he comes to, because Lucy needs to clear her head after what Krizik said. 'Cause she didn't question it until after he said that, and now she feels really bad about it.
Okay, so
Okay.
you can find a bench or something to sit on one of the side of the streets, or maybe one of the cafes to duck into and find a quiet corner. And then Raz and Krizik, where are you guys gonna head?
Do you want to scout out that church, Krizik?
I don't know. Metagaming. Dave smiled really big when he heard that we were going to split the party. Again. Yeah, actually, I don't mind just scouting out from a distance the church.
Yeah, it's cautiously. We're not going to go busting in.
Literally, we're both military guys, so
Yeah.
I think that we should be fine.
Sure.
That's exactly what military people would say.
Yeah. What could happen? Hey, there's
Let's
that.
find out. He's back, Bunny.
Yes, I'm here.
Like a ninja. Was this 6 minutes?
About that.
Uh,
Maybe 7.
Okay. So Megan or Dr. Lucy went off to find a quiet corner to regroup some of her thoughts, and then the two ex-military guys want to go check out the church. What is Bunny doing?
So I was left in the alley crying.
Nope. No, I'm going to
Took
leave it
you
a quiet
with us.
corner, and if you come to, I'm going with you.
All right. So
He's a goner. Just leave him.
so he eventually recoups himself, and so they're going off to stealth. You're going to go off to meditate.
I basically just brought you somewhere where you weren't likely to get more hurt than you already were, and when you wake up, I'm just going to escort you wherever it is you're going.
Okay. Well, I think now is time for need help, because that was way too painful. So if we could go back to the ship for a moment, that would be helpful.
Okay, we'll do that then.
So when we get back to the ship, we go to the engine room, and off in the one corner is what looks to be just a pile of junk about the same size as Bunny, and he smacks his little thigh and says, "Here, Mutt," and the pile gets up into a very asymmetrical quadruped that looks like the designer couldn't decide whether it should have been feline or canine. The right front shoulder and left hip are, bigger limbs, whereas the opposite seem more, sleek in design, and yet in comedic value to the fact that it looks part canine and feline. It has the signature bunny ears that Bunny has been wearing for the entire time that you've known him. It hobbles itself up onto its 4 legs and comes over to Bunny's call.
Oh,
This
I'm going to
Mutt,
ask him questions about it and make some notes.
so what questions do you want to know?
Oh, it doesn't actually matter what the questions are. I'm just putting that there for flavor.
Oh, okay, well you can see that the same bluish purplish tubes that seem to function with his gun and his boots, as well as in at least one of his tools, seems to be running in veins throughout the creature.
That's awesome.
So the two military folks show up outside the church. This part of the lower district is a bit run down, looks disused, and you actually find a lot of vagrants and homeless folks kind of wandering around. They seem to sense the two of you as being dangerous and stay away and give you wide berth. There's definitely a couple of trash can fires going on when you come up to the church, and you can see that many of the windows probably once upon a time were all stained glass, but most of them are either broken out or boarded up. At this point, the building really looks like it should probably be condemned.
Well, I'm kind of a scuzzy lady. I'll hang out by one of the trash fires and just kind of like approach and kind of greet the people gathered around there. You make some small talk.
That might go in the book of quotes from Doug. I'm kind of a scuzzy lady.
Write it down, internet.
Write it down. Okay. So you make a Are you trying to blend in with the locals?
Yeah, she's kind of just got her worn patchy uniform and so yeah, just kind of approach one of the fires and.
All right, give me a DC 10 persuasion check to kind of just like blend in and not like instantly frighten everyone away.
Oh, it exploded. 17, 21, 25, 28.
Okay, yeah, they actually accept you as one of their own.
Awesome.
One of them may start trying to nurse you. I don't know.
I'll pull out a little flask and take a sip of vodka and pass it around with them and just make some small talk and ask them kind of nod to the church over there and say that she'll ask them or just kind of try to get them to talk about like if anything unusual activity goes on around here.
Well, all right. So there's a bit of conversation probably would go on before that. I feel like you wouldn't just be like, "Hey."
Yeah. I figure she'll just kind of ingratiate herself by talking about like times are rough. Let's see, how do I want to put this? I don't know, just talk about being down on her luck and, maybe kind of mention that she used to be in the military, but, she got discharged and, she just had a hard time with things and that brought her down to the lower district here.
So you start going through this like I guess this like life story that's kind of made up, but kind of laced with some minor truth,
yes,
which really seems to ingratiate the inhabitants of this district to you, and the ones that are around you. They start they're paying rapt attention, asking questions. They very much are enjoying you sharing your flask with them. Some of them even bring out some of their own stuff to share with you as well, whether it's food or drink. And ask you both if you have clothes that are warm enough, and really just been accepted into their hobo tribe. And so after that goes on for a while, the talk kind of changes and turns, and when you mention the building, the old man you've been speaking to kind of just shudders. He goes, a lot of us used to hang out in there, but not anymore. They, the weirdos, they ran us off.
Maybe I'll make up a story about like a friend of mine that went missing. I'll say, yes, I had a friend who was also kind of frequented this area too, but he went missing some time ago. A lot of us think that maybe the people that take on up residence there might have taken him for some reason. Has any of your friends gone missing?
Well, many of my friends have gone missing. It's a rough life down here. It gets cold. Sometimes people get hungry. Sometimes there's fights, and the people above, they don't really care about us down here at all. The higher up you go, the less they care, to be honest with you. And the weirdness, the weirdos like you're asking about, it's like the city isn't even aware. They're not even doing anything. They're showing up. They're even bullying people down here. They take what they want. And yeah, some of our friends have gone missing.
This is how the rich treat the poor, often in any city.
Yeah, and that's bad enough. But now with the weirdos, this is something. Somebody should do something about this. It just started, recently. That they started gathering here. They come here at night, usually, and it looks like he wants to, you get the vibe that he wants to look at for a timepiece that he doesn't have. And yeah, usually around 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night they start showing up, and weird noises come out of there. This used to be where we would hang out and keep warm and basically socialize with the rest of our people that are down on our luck down here. But once it gets late, we scatter now. We don't stay here. It's not safe. My friend, if you have somewhere else to be, you should be there too when that happens.
Well, I have nowhere specific to be, so it's good to know that I should not be here at night. Have they said anything to you, or is that, have they put you in any danger, or is it just kind of bad juju around here at night?
You know what? Honestly, once things started getting weird, I didn't stick around. I make sure to be long gone before they start showing up. I've heard some stories though. I've heard the chanting and the weird, strange lights at night.
It definitely sounds like someplace you don't want to be around at night.
And then,
how much daylight do we have left?
it's probably like mid-afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock. So, but probably gets dark around 8 o'clock. So yeah, you do definitely have some daylight left.
All right, well, I'll take another pass around to my flask and say, well, I'll kind of excuse myself and say, well, I better find a place to bed down for the night. Thank you for the warning, friends. Stay safe.
You too.
And I'll just leave those guys.
Okay.
And I'll go find Kresik and tell him, yeah, this is definitely the place. These guys.
I was listening.
Oh. All right. Well, then you know.
So I'm going to say you probably hung out for a good hour and a half, getting information, kind of like, cozying up to them. And somewhere's on your character sheet, you can write down George the Hobo as a contact.
Awesome. I fit right in.
So with that, Bunny and Dr. Lucy is showing up. In that time, was there anything you wanted to be doing, Kresik?
Yeah, as long as I'm able to stay within range of him, I wanted to do a perimeter sweep. Once I heard that daytime is pretty safe, I want to do a perimeter sweep of the church. I want to see adjacent buildings. I want to see what kind of entrance exits they have visible, see if I can see anything secretive and all that good stuff. How many floors it looks like, any basement entrances, and yeah.
Okay, so what you can instantly gather is there is an upper floor, there's the ground floor, there's definitely going to be a basement. Just because of the way these cities are constructed, you know that it is possible that there could be multiple basements, or it can even connect to what they call the ductwork. And the ductwork is a series of tunnels that run throughout the cities, and it's really basically like maintenance shafts to keep the cities running. As far as entrances and exits, there are almost too many to count just because the building is in such bad shape. There's plenty of places where you see where, okay, boards could be slid aside from where that window was boarded up, or there's actually, there is several entrances, a front main entrance, there's a rear entrance, and there's several on the sides. There's definitely an entrance that goes directly to the basement, like almost like Bilko doors kind of set up. And then there is at least two other places that you yourself can actually just go through the walls, and then probably a couple other places where someone like a human could easily fit through the wall.
So a very secure building.
Yes. So basically you come back and then you have that information, and now Dr. Lucy and Bunny are showing up, and Bunny has an odd contraption with him. You're muted.
Real quick, looking at the healing rules, was all of the damage I took considered lethal, and I'm at the 6 that Lucy healed me to, or have I had the aforementioned time to recover and I'm back to regular?
You are actually, the problem actually wasn't that it was lethal. I mean, that was part of it, but
because regular hit points you can recover after 20 minutes or some such, but lethal damage you heal like a hit point a day.
Yeah. All right, so only a part of it was considered lethal. And all right, that'll work. So you were down 5.
Okay. So I'll take the time to grab it. Got it.
So Dr. Lucy and Bunny show up
with a small contraption.
So, what have we missed, friends?
Well, I'll tell them about George the Hobo and how, it gets pretty these people, it's a rundown area, but, it used to be safe until recently when the weirdos that we encountered in the alley took up residence in this church, and there's a lot of chanting and strange lights that come out of there at night, so all the people kind of scatter. They don't like to be around here at night. And Krezik also did a very thorough perimeter search.
And to be clear, too, it's not so much that it was safe before, but things have become exponentially more dangerous.
Right. I mean, it was as safe as any other hobo community.
Yeah.
Which is to say, there's still some danger, but now it's even more dangerous.
Well, it sounds to me as though these cultists are a menace.
I don't want to see any more of those knives.
I'm with Bunny on this.
We may have to.
Oh, by the way, what is this thing following you around, Bunny?
Oh, this is mine.
And I'll gingerly pet it with my mechanical hands. Good boy.
Clang, clang, clang.
I think he likes me.
The mouth opens up and a oversized tongue comes out. Try to lick you. Nothing like metal brushing against your skin.
It's metal. Also.
It should be like a really long or wide chain, like a bicycle, like a bunch of bicycle chains, all next to each other, so it just rolls out.
Done and done.
Okay. So, what attack type were those daggers?
What
Like-
attack type?
Like slashing?
Yeah, they would be slashing, considered slashing.
Okay, so I am going to take a moment to put an aura of resistance on Bunny against slashing damage. Basically, his defense scores are increased by 3 against slashing.
Sweet. Thank you.
So that should help a little bit at least.
So, do we know how many are inside?
I have no idea. I have not seen any come or go.
From your conversations, you gather they show up later. They come.
So they don't like live there. They just use it as a
To meet,
gathering
yeah.
place. Oh, well, if that's the case, maybe we can lay in wait inside for them.
We can set them up the ambush.
We could, or at least see what they're up to. I mean, if they wanted Krezik,
Do
they
we know
can't be
how
up
much?
to anything good.
Do we know how much time before they would be able to set something up?
It all depends on how elaborate you want to set up. What exactly you're trying to do.
Well, I'm smart and I can make lots of things. So kobolds in general are known as trap makers. I don't know how much of that is pouring over into here, but I mean, if we've got time, I'd love to.
You have a couple hours, so you could probably jerry rig some stuff up.
Then let's get to it.
What do you need us to do, Bunny?
So, I mean, if we can get inside, we can look at what's there. My perk is I'm an artisan. I have craft mundane item and knowledge 1 engineering and a logic of 5. So this guy is far more prepared to do whatever I need to do than what Ted knows. So,
Well, Ted, did you hear what Dave said about the place? That
I did
for me?
not. That might have been while I was out.
Okay. No, it was recently. It's no big deal. He basically said that there's dozens of entrances in here, like it's not secure at all. So from the streets, there are many doors. There's holes in the walls, big ones, little ones, whatever. Even some that a human could fit in through. And it looks like there's 2 floors, easily a basement. More likely than not, goes into the ductworks, which are the super sewers, Aether sewers, I guess. That's my interpretation for them. So they could go all over the place. And of course, they're going to be hidden, non-hidden. It's my opinion that we would have a better chance of knowing what's going on if we were to look at, blueprints or, investigate whatever, but we will lose the advantage of surprise because they're probably expecting that I'd be back there. And we would be dead, the rest of us. So we could go in there and do something now, but I would suggest totally Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom the place and make it, rig it so that damn place will explode. That's my just, personal opinion. If you're going to do some...
I don't have a problem making it explode, but I don't want to set the entire, slum on fire.
Right. I'm concerned about innocents getting injured as well.
No, controlled demolition.
Just cave it in?
Absolutely. Implode.
Are we sure that there aren't any innocents inside the building?
Well, if they were innocents, they would have been caught. That would suck.
Krizik.
Oh, come on. You look at the universal good. Look, I'm not like a total pacifist. I mean, I'm not stupid about it.
They are
Alright,
trying
So
to bring
cutting
back
the throat of a
Elder
cultist that we know is doing shady stuff was bad, but killing some innocent people that happen to be in a church, no problem.
No, no problem. We don't know. Like, you're assuming that there are going to be innocent people caught and brought inside the church. And if that's the case, they'll be psychic, and then, we'll know.
From what George said, they avoid the church.
So,
Say that
Dave, would
again?
I be able to do a, Etherfeist implosion device?
You could definitely explode the building. And it basically, most of the structures are actually made of metal. So intentionally so. And everything within the city is pretty fire resistant because that is actually one of the worst fears of the city is a mass fire.
That's Dave giving us permission to blow the place up. I'm just saying.
I like this plan.
All right, so I'll get into the building and look around, and I'll start pulling out my weird looking tools that have that those veins of ether energy running through them, and I start measuring some things out and pull out some things and start, this is when you see actually Bunny being at his most confident, writing some things down, checking out, all the little nitty gritty details, and I'll hobble together, handfuls of random pieces of junk that I solder together and fuse together in some way, shape, or form, and no one who would ever look at it would assume that this is an explosive. But yet again, I channel that energy into those little tubes, and it's set to go.
So you're going to actually have to use your gun, like the power sources from your, not the gun itself, but the power cells from it that you use to fuel it, to actually fuel the explosions.
Okay.
But other than that, you can absolutely do it.
So what would I have to be able to do to be able to make new fuel cells for the gun?
And then it's just going to be you having a day or two to gather the materials you need.
Okay. All right, then so be it. Put the gun in the backpack, pull out the power cell, and set it up.
Okay, so that's what's happening no matter what. Now, drop a logic check to see how well it happens.
All right, well, I just happened to make my logic better, so yay.
Can I bolster him with my bolstering
Twice.
boon?
Yes, you can.
So that would be an advantage 1.
Okay,
just
so I would,
by encouraging him with my presence.
So I would roll another set of all dice, or just the d20?
No, just one of your ability stats. Your attribute dice.
Okay, all right. So that was 13 on that one, 5 on that one. All right, so that's 8, 21. So 28 total.
Okay, so it will go off how you want it to go off and when you want it to go off. How are you setting it up? The technology isn't where you could like set a remote detonator, but you would be able to set like a timer.
Well, I will take the information that our former military companion said, and I will set it for the most logical time frame.
Okay, so you think probably like 7 o'clock.
Could I use my tactical precognition to see if that would be a favorable time to do that?
Sure.
All right. Let's see. I'm not sure how that works, so let me check it out. Oh, but I just asked a question about a course of action we plan to take within the next hour.
Okay, so you tell Bunny to push it up an hour.
Okay.
To 8 o'clock, or back an hour to 8 o'clock.
Okay, and that would be a favorable outcome.
You think everyone should be there by then?
All right. So yeah, I'll tell Bunny, like, based on what the residents of this area say, I think the best course of action would be about 8 p.m. would be excellent time.
Okay, so I imagine you guys all kind of hide around 6 o'clock in the evening. They start filing in 1, 2, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. But by 8 o'clock, a good 30 members have entered, and they're all wearing those stupid robes. Right around quarter to 8. The chanting begins, and you can see what they were talking about, because this eerie light kind of starts flickering off the walls wherever you can see, wherever there's holes or a window's not quite boarded up, and it's almost like a fire, but it's more of a yellow color, like an unnaturally yellow color, and with greens as well. The kind of like almost like a warped disco show, and the sounds that are coming out of that building are chanting, and it has this eerie quality to it, as it sounds like not a bunch of voices, but one loud voice, and then you hear the as the detonators start firing, and then explosions begin happening, and the building just collapses in on itself, and you just hear that chanting until the actual sound of the building collapsing silences it for good. No screams, no calls, cries of pain. Just the chanting was there, then the rumbling of the building collapsing, and then it was gone. And both Megan, or I should say Dr. Lucy and Krizik, hear just the slightest hint of laughter just out of your peripheral.
Well, that was
Awesome.
unsettling.
Yeah, so they were just chanting right up until the end.
Yes.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, so at some point there was probably like a split second between the building, the explosives going off, and the building coming down, where they were still chanting, which you could just hear under the noise, until finally everything was just buried under the rubble.
I don't like this.
There's probably weird cultist drugs involved.
I think that we actually helped the thing.
I get that impression as well.
At least they can't spread the cult here.
This is true.
When Bunny says that, you guys hear that laughter just a little bit more.
At any rate, it probably would not be a good idea to be around where building collapsed. Perhaps we should go back to the ship.
Yeah, eventually someone probably will investigate, but it'll be a while. Down here, they don't care as much. In this section of the city, in this ward, place is barely used, and it is a place of forgotten things.
I just want to be sure. I just want to do a quick general inside search for thoughts, like living being thoughts.
Okay, you do not find any.
Yeah, we totally served this thing's purpose, guys.
So you guys going back to the ship, back to the headquarters?
Oh, yes. I think I need to stop and talk to Krizik at some point. I'm filing that away as something like this conversation needs to happen.
So we need to talk to the Commodore. Let him know about these daggers, these cultists.
Yeah. For that, you'd have to head back to the Eternati Hall.
Right.
So you guys, you get back there. By the time you get back there, it is probably like 9-10 o'clock at night. And if you want to get the Commodore, you're gonna have to actually have to send for him. At this point, he would have retired for the day.
Could always, we'll chill here and set an appointment for tomorrow morning. I could do with some rest.
Okay, so with that, I don't know where Bunny's staying. He might even be staying on the ship right now. There is a general barracks that you guys can make use of. Dr. Lucy was actually staying in the city at kind of a nice apartment with Thomas and
Zafine.
Safine, correct. But you may or may not want to go back there at this juncture.
No, I'm pretty sure that Thomas would know that there's something wrong, like, immediately, and I kind of don't want him to know yet, so I'm gonna, like, stick around the HQ.
Okay. So with that, you guys can do that and, wait for the morning and kind of go through a debriefing as you guys do whenever anything kind of happens. So I think this is a good stopping spot for us, and hopefully Israel will return next week, having completed his task, whatever that is.
Now we have a question with him being called away when we've got suspects makes us question the only human.
It is rather suspicious.
Oh, let's not do that again.
So
And I would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Doug.
I was just gonna say, I would imagine Raz is probably not that troubled because she hasn't had all these elder beings whispering in her mind. So to her, it's just like one cultist cell wrapped up. She's sleeping like a baby.
No horrible scars, no near-death experiences, no horrible voices, laughing maniacally in their head.
Nope.
So far, you're the lucky one.
Yeah. So both Kresik and Dr. Lucy will drift off to nightmares while Bunny lays awake for most of the night with his side burning. Each one of those marks it's almost like it feels like a cigarette being put out on your skin. Just the hint of it anyway, not the full on, but there's definitely pain that comes with it. And with that, we'll end things. Roz sleeping like a baby. Another cult cell down. Until next time, everybody, stay nerdy.